Welcome to DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next. The official podcast of the Diablo Valley College Alumni Association. As we celebrate 75 years of DVC's impact on education, careers, and community, we're honored to share the incredible journeys of alumni who've transformed their time on our vibrant campus into meaningful careers, community contributions, and personal success. Each Tuesday, we spotlight DVC alumni, from first-generation graduates to entrepreneurs, educators, and leaders who share the triumphs, challenges, and pivotal moments that shaped their lives. And on Thursdays, it's Resource Thursday. We dive into the programs, departments, and services that make DVC the supportive, dynamic community it is, exploring how they serve students and how you can connect with them. Whether you're a current student, recent graduate, or longtime alum, join us as we honor DVC's legacy and discover how our past continues to inspire the future. Thank you for being part of this journey. Be sure to tune in, subscribe, and celebrate with us. DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next. And now, join our host, alumni manager, Charlie Daly.
And we are live. And thank you for coming in. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, no problem, man. My name is James Williams III. And I'm just blessed to be here, man. I'm blessed to be here. Like I said, Charles, me and Charles met through LinkedIn, just a random message. I think I just asked to follow him, whatever. And then, now we're here.
Yep.
So thank you for having me, man.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, you're a DVC alumni, and the fact that you reached out on LinkedIn means a lot to me. And it's like, I found some very interesting people on LinkedIn, so for me, it's like a great place to kind of like find people. So, So let's start with kind of where you got started. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in San Francisco, California. And so I was born out there, and then we moved to the East Coast. I think around elementary school, so around there. And I went to elementary school, in Oakland, and then middle school I went to KIPP. So we went back to the city, but we still lived on the East Coast. So we were
in the East Bay.
East Bay, I'm sorry.
Yes, I was going to go East Coast, man. That's a. Oh no,
yeah.
I know. It's just
East Bay.
Yeah, we had a little hiccup here, so it's just
So I was going to middle school at KIPP, San Francisco, but we lived on the East Bay, and so we was commuting every day. Shout out moms for that.
I know. So let's back up a little bit. So we really got to get a shout out to your parents, because like they, I mean, especially mom, because mom did a lot of heavy lifting to get you back and forth to, because you were telling me earlier that basically mom was commuting and taking you to school and then going to work. And it's just, I mean, that's a lot of work to be a mom.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out moms, man. But, I'm blessed to have both parents. I'm blessed to have all three parents, all four parents. Let me say that.
Okay.
I'm blessed to have all four parents. I look at all of them, mom and dad. None of them is step, but in this moment, she was the one commuting. But my dad is incredible, man. I love my dad. I love all my family, man. And the support system I have is just, I'm blessed. I'm super blessed to have the support system. They help me out literally all through the way. And as me being a grown man, I still reach out. I still reach out to my pops, my moms, both my moms, and they help me out the best way they can. So I'm super grateful for that.
Well, and I think to live a good, authentic life, one of the greatest things that I think a lot of people don't appreciate is having parents that give a hoot about what's going on in your life and try to do the best they can to raise you.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you got all your parents are engaged, which is a rare thing these days. And then they're commuting back and forth. You end up going to, where'd you go to high school at?
So after KIPP, we went to Pittsburgh High School, which is about 15 minutes from here. And going to Pitt was incredible, man. I had a great time. I played football all 4 years. Played basketball my first 2 years. And just really and I still have my high school friend group that I talk to this day. So super blessed for them guys. And
so what was your Pittsburgh coach? What did he say? What was his thing?
The motto was to go beat DLSL. It never happened. It still hasn't happened to this day. It still hasn't happened. I mean, even this past year, they actually played here at DVC. They played at DVC, and they lost 10-7. It was a rainy game, but I was rooting for Pittsburgh.
Wait, they lost just 10-7?
10-7, yeah.
Wow.
I think that was the closest game to Pittsburgh beating them, because when we played them, I think we got beat like 38-10 or something. It was at least by 20 points.
Yeah.
I know that. We that's the motto, man, just go over the hill and try to beat them boys down there. And yeah, it hasn't been working out for the past 20, 25 years. So.
Well, but at the same time, I think it's important to have goals that we set that we may not get to, but they help us to achieve other things. It's like by setting, because sometimes it's kind of like okay, we want to go to the moon, not because it's easy. I mean, John F. Kennedy said it. We want to go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Yeah. So too often it's like, well, let's go. Let's pick an easy team. It's like, no, let's go pick some hard stuff. Do something hard. Yeah. So, well, cool. And it's like, I know that there's probably a lot of teams out there that do the same thing. It's just like, let's beat De La Salle. So, but you get better,
It's around here, they superior team, but Pittsburgh is under them. Don't get me wrong. I'm always rooting for my Pirates, man. Always.
Oh no, always. I think I was saying earlier is that, I went to YV, and before De La Salle was a thing, it was Pittsburgh and YV that fought. Oh, God, yeah. And that was one of the things. It's, our motto at the time was beat Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh motto at the time was beat YV. So, and rivalries are great. So, cool. So talk. So from there, where did you you went out hunting for schools, right? So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that process coming out of high school was a little rough, because I was confused on where I wanted to go. I was blessed to have a career counselor at Pittsburgh High School. Her name is, with two of them, was Miss Anita and Miss Mosley. And shout out to them. They were like, they are still family to me. And, the love that they showed, they really cared for us and wanted us to succeed, whatever we decided to do. And I was going to all these college career fairs. I went to at least 4 or 5 of them, got these scholarships, and, got accepted. I went to some career fairs where I got accepted on spot. And I was so excited. Like, I got accepted to college. It was cool. And it could have been just a little small college on the East Coast or, whatever. But I was so excited. And, but my ultimate decision, I wanted to go to Arizona State. And I was blessed enough by my parents, by my dad, my stepmother, mom, to be able to take me to Arizona State. We went to the student day life. I got to see the dorms. I got to see the lunchrooms. I got to see the tutor halls. I got to see everything, man. And I was super blessed to go there. And oh man, but unfortunately, I had to turn it down. They wanted too much money from me, man. They wanted too much money. They wanted like $40K a year.
Yeah, you were out of state, man.
And that's crazy. I really don't understand. I mean, I get it, but it's like, dang, like if I was in-state resident, it would have been like 11,000. You know, and I'm not saying that's cheap, but I'm just saying like we're talking about college numbers. But 40,000 is just crazy. And I don't want to put myself in that much debt, and I don't want to put that much weight on me and my parents. So, unfortunately, I had to make and it's funny because I even. When you apply for schools, I'm pretty sure you have to click the enroll button pretty much. Or I forgot what the button is called, but pretty much like the commit button. You just submit the application, get accepted. You pretty much let them know you're going to come, right? You're going to attend their university. And I had to back out of it, man. So it's okay though, because, I prayed about it and, all glory to God. And it led me here. And I'm grateful for being here, man. And I got to really meet some good people. The counselors was great. And I was blessed to have my first 2 years free. So I had to pay no tuition. I only had to come out of pocket like books and, lunch and stuff like that and gas.
Books, lunch, and commute.
Yeah. And I did the 2 days here. I didn't do 4 days because I was working full time at the moment. So I was only going here, I think, Monday, Wednesday. I think I had 3-4 classes. And yeah, man. So I was blessed to be here, man. And it really, and honestly, it was the best decision because I was able to handle my prereqs, English, math, all that, and DVC, go to school 15 minutes down the road and just handle it, and so, yeah.
So, well, and that's really the case for a lot of folks is that they come here to DVC and it's like they get all the kind of the prereqs out. And then the upside for it is that, then they get a chance to kind of get their feet under them and learn how to be in college because college is different than high school.
Way different.
Yeah. Different. Nobody takes attendance other than if you didn't show up, it's like nobody's going to call, attendance office isn't going to call. No. So what was your favorite, class here? Because I think you talked about that earlier. So,
favorite class, I'll have to say public speaking. I really wish I remember the professor name, but I don't. It was so long ago. I don't remember her name. But yeah, the class was public speaking, and I was really excited for it because I knew I wanted to go into communication. And I knew communication had to do with voice. I know it had to do with speaking out, whether it was on a camera, whether it was through people, whether it was two people, whether it was one-on-one. I knew I wanted to go to communication, right? So public speaking was initially that start of it. So I was excited, I was really excited to really learn and really develop my skills. And this teacher really helped me out. And
well, talk about it. So when you got into the class, I mean, were you excited about it, or was it like a little nervous? Or?
I definitely was really nervous. I was really nervous because, going from high school and having speeches, I had class with my friends, so it was like, oh, what's up? It was whatever. But here, I had to really. Like my dad said, turn on that switch and really be professional and really, really showcase who you are. And this class really brought brought that sprout in me. So I definitely wasn't a little nervous going into it. But she made it to where, it was like a non-judgmental environment and stuff. And knowing that everyone in there was pretty much first timers public speaking. Public speaking is a mandatory that you're taking at college. So, yeah, definitely a little nervous, but the speeches. The first speech I did was an intro speech, and really just introducing myself, where I'm from, and what my hobbies are, and stuff like that. And I did really good. I'm pretty sure everybody did good on that one. I don't think she judged that hard on the introduction speech, but it was a speech down the line where we talked about pet peeves, and one of my biggest pet peeves, and you're probably gonna laugh, but it's Thanksgiving leftovers. I don't.
So you do know that you're dissing on some people's like most favorite thing, but I get it though. I get it. Okay,
it's just like, oh man, like I get it. Thanksgiving come around, everyone's eating similarity things. The ham, the turkey, the mac and cheese, the yams, the dressing. And that's good. That's good. Hey, eat what you want to eat, but it's just like the fact that people put it in the refrigerator and continue to eat it for the next 3 weeks, like. Throw it away, man. Throw it away or give it away.
Move on, baby.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to get them tacos going or something, man.
Oh, yeah. Turkey tacos, man. It's like, so how did you do? So set up how you did that speech.
Yeah, so the prompt was basically find a pet peeve, find something that annoys you, and really dilate it and talk about it, and come with some type of visual. And my visual was really audio, really. But I brought my speaker to class, and the first thing I played was that Thanksgiving song. It goes like beans, greens, tomatoes, and it goes like that. And yeah, so I played that song, and I played it for like maybe 15 seconds. And everyone was like, what? Like, it was funny because everyone started laughing. And I was like, hey, what do you got? Like, I asked them, like, what do you guys think of this song? Like, what does it remind you of? And everybody said Thanksgiving. Like, and I was like, yeah, that's my pet peeve. And people was like, Thanksgiving? Like, you don't like to give thanks? I was like, no, that's not what I meant. Let me rephrase that. This Thanksgiving leftovers is I have a problem with. I'm truly big with Thanksgiving and, family coming together and giving grace to God and, really being thankful. No, that's that moment I cherish. Don't get me wrong. But the food is good, but that eating it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nah.
So the food forever is the thing.
That I'm not with.
Okay.
And so, when I was going on with my speech, I kind of brought the class, and it was I really incorporated humor. I love to have humor into my speeches, and I've been doing that for years. And I really hooked the class, man. And it's funny because right after she gave me advice, and she was like, "You're a natural, man. You're a natural." So hearing that from a professor, I'm just a kid coming out of high school, but hearing that from a professor really like brought that stargaze out of me, and really was like, I can do this. Like, this is what I want to do with my major. I want to go into communications. I want to talk to people, and I want to get really comfortable in being in front of a camera or talking to 50 to 100 people. So
okay, cool. Okay, so that was like that was the one class that really was like the trigger for you. It's like, hey, I know what I want to do, what my trajectory is.
Right.
So, okay. So you ended up going through DVC. Were there other like memorable moments you had here?
I took a public health class, and that was really interesting. Really interesting. I know. Yeah, we talked from germs to diseases to, man. We even have to go outside and grab plants and like try to see if we could see like try to see if we could see. I don't know what she was doing, but it was dope. That was one of the assignments, and we just kind of laughed. But I mean, it's for a grade, so we got to do it. But no, that class was really interesting. I really learned about like there's a lot of like you can get sick a lot of ways, and it was crazy. It was a real eye opener. But yeah, it sounded interesting, and I had to take a class for that type of requirement. So.
Well, and it's like, you learn the world of like where you can get the cooties.
Yeah, pretty much. No, yeah, seriously.
Well,
yeah.
especially it's especially after the pandemic, it's just like, oh man, that was a crazy time.
Oh yeah.
So it looks like that was a lot of it was. So when did you start here at DVC? What year was that?
I started here in the fall of 2019.
Oh man. Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
So, well, it is what it is, my friend.
It is what it is, yeah.
So, okay, so you graduated from here and you went on to, so what was it? So talk about that. So you went from here to Sac State.
Yes, so went to Sac State, but before I get into that, I actually was trying to go back to Arizona State.
Oh.
It was a fight that I wasn't trying to lose. I really like the campus. I really like the student body. So he being here at DVC, I actually was trying to transfer to Arizona State after I did my term, and I got in contact with counselors over there and stuff like that, and I thought I could maybe get some more scholarships and stuff, but it just didn't work, man. It just didn't work, and I kind of just took it from a sign of God, man, and stopped trying to force it and just let it flow, and so I want to say gave up on it, but I kind of just put it to the side and see what other options was for me, and Sac State was the biggest, plan B for me, and so the counselors helped me get to where I got to and take the classes I needed and get the credits I needed. So that transfer to Sac State was real smooth, really smooth, as far as the whole, my credits transferred and stuff like that. And yeah, man, so going to Sac State, yeah. And so at this point, I knew where I wanted to go. I got my acceptance letter and, so I was committed at that point. And, I was all the way through. I was, I did my little graduation here and stuff, my family. And, after that, I knew where I was going.
So, what was your time like at Sac State? I mean, did you commute or did you live up there?
I lived up there. They had like student housing, student apartments. And, it was cool because I roomed with, one of my, I call him my brother in Christ, CJ, Matt, my boy Matt and Gabe. And so we all roomed together. We had an apartment together. We had separate rooms. It was a 4x2, so it was 4 rooms and 2 bathrooms. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like it couldn't have worked out any better. Again, glory to God, and for Him putting us together. And because I always hear stories about bad roommates. Like that's one of the biggest things I've heard. Yeah, about bad roommates. And I told myself, man, I don't want to have bad roommates. But I was lucky enough. I was blessed enough to get in contact with them because they was looking for a spot, and we all just kind of.
So how did you find though? I mean, because first of all, there's more stories of bad roommates than there are of not.
Yeah.
So how did you end up? How did you end up circling around and finding them? I mean, was it just happenstance or?
Yeah. Well, CJ. We actually worked together. And we always kept in contact. And when he transferred, because he went to LMC, when he transferred, we kept in contact, So he's like, hey, man, I'm looking for some roommates. And I was like, cool. So then he already had 2 people he was cool with up there. And, I know him. He won't, his company around him is very great people. So I knew it wasn't going to be a problem. So, okay, cool. So we end up this new place called the Hornet Commons up there just got built recently, and we all, applied and got the lease and stuff like that. And, and we all got together and, it was cool.
So we're going to take a moment and shout out to networks.
Yeah.
Because that's what you did. Even as a high, you're working with this gentleman, he was a coworker from where
Home Depot.
Home Depot. Okay, yeah. So you actually leveraged your network.
Yeah,
and it's just I'm get asked on a semi-regular basis to teach a couple classes on networking, and for me, that's one of the things. It's like, build your network.
Build your network. Yeah, you got to build your network,
and then you also got to maintain it. You got to reach out to people. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Blah blah blah. And man, see right there, early on, you learned a lesson.
Yeah.
All right, now back to our regularly scheduled program. So so you're up there at Sac State. Tell us about that experience.
Sac State was a great experience. It was an awesome experience because it's my first time being really on my own. Even though I was just an hour away, but being on my own, really, learning responsibility. Not that I didn't know it before, but really like knowing that, okay, I got to get up in the morning. I got to make these classes, I got to make my own dinner, I got to pack my own lunch, so really being my own. And I'm super grateful for it, man, because it really, like, I learned new skills, and instead of just picking up that phone, hey mom, how you do this? How you cook this? Like I looked it up, trying to make it myself, so just trying to learn more things and really trying to develop. And again, having great roommates was a true blessing, man. And, cause I didn't know nobody, besides the people I lived with. So, they really like made it they made it so where like it was comfortable, and like I said, when hearing bad roommate stories, I didn't want that. I didn't want the whole stealing food and the mess up the kitchen and messy bathroom. Now we had an establishment, we had rules, and but besides that, we just had a great time. And I met good people. I met long-term friends in classes. And Sac State, a lot of the classes are, I don't want to say similar, but when I took communication classes, I often seen the same people. So I was like, what's up? So I ended up, like, shout out Mike, long time friend, and just meeting people, really networking at Sac State is really important. I was, because everyone got their own goals. Everyone's trying to get their degree. That's the ultimate goal that everyone has. So, being able to network, and what I mean by networking is, hey, you want to study, like, for this test, and I've done so many study groups and, my classes. And, so it was good though. It was fun. Like, honestly, it was fun staying up all night, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, studying for the midterms and, passing it, and, hoping, praying that you pass it. And it was fun, man. I had a great time going to the football games, and, yeah, man, it was a great time. I really enjoyed Sac State. I'm blessed that I was able to go through this route, and I got my degree. And one of my things I told my family was I'm gonna bring this back home, and I did, man. So glory to God, and glory to my support system.
Cool. So one of the things that you ended up at was the radio station up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So first of all, I know not everybody knows what a radio station is anymore, but. Talk about how you ended up with that, because that's a pretty cool gig. Talk about that.
Yeah. So the orientation before I got into Sac State, well, I was already in Sac State, but before I physically got to Sac State, I went up there for orientation, and they had a booth. And it was this hall, and it was different, like, clubs and stuff, and they had a booth. And excuse me. And it was KSSU radio, and I was like, you know what, like, this is what I want to do. So I went up to them, introduced myself, and told them, like, my aspirations, and what I want to do in the future. And they're like, well, this is the start, like, just sign up. It's as simple as that, and we're going to contact you. I was like, okay, cool, like, so put my name down, gave my email, gave my number, and they reached out to me like maybe a week before school. And I was able to go up there, do the training. And so basically after the training was like maybe a week, just to kind of show you the studio, show you
how to work the board,
how to work the board, what to say on air, what not to say on air, stuff like that. And then basically, okay, cool. And now you get to be your own DJ, and you get to have whoever you want in the studio, as long as they're respectful, of course, and I got to come up with my own name of my DJ name. My DJ name was DJ Trips. Because I'm a third, so my friends, I go by J Trip sometimes. Trips, J Triple. So that was my DJ name, and my show name was the Moving Silence Podcast. And so I made it transitioning to a podcast instead of like more of a radio. It's kind of what we're doing now. So yeah, I did that. And yeah, man, it was great. I got to meet great people in there. Shout out Casey for believing in me and allowing me to have basically so I had an hour show every week. That was the job.
Okay, that's a pretty big lift.
Yeah, it is. It is. Hour show every week. I honestly wanted to go more. It was I had a really fun time doing. I had a bunch of special guests.
Yeah, but you're also being full-time student and you're working and so it's okay. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
I'm like going, wait a minute. So okay. So you got a 1 hour program. So anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, 1 hour program. And I just, they came up with a bunch of time frames and, I was able to choose the time I was able to do it. And, luckily I was able to, because I did work. So I was able to plug in an hour, like hour right after my last class before I had to go to work like 2 hours later. So it worked out pretty good. And my last class was kind of close to my radio station. The radio station was in like the student union, kind of like down here. It was like in that, had its own little area. And so I had my class kind of nearby. So I was able just to walk there, and in class, I'm like writing down notes for the class and then writing down notes like what I'm going to say and stuff like that. And it was incredible, man. I had a great time, and, I was able to post it and stuff. And, a lot of people showed me love on it, and which I really appreciate. And I was a natural, man. Sometimes I had a test before, so I didn't have time to write down notes. So I just go in there and kind of go off the head with stuff.
Freeform.
And doing that, I want to use it. I wouldn't say that was a negative thing, because honestly, like, that developed my skill even more to just, have that ability to just talk about whatever. And I just talk about sports. And I didn't really get into like the politics. I'm not big on that. So sports, God, music, just daily life and student. Try to keep it PG, the people I had on, I just, it was funny because in the studio they had a whole list of like words you can't say, things you can't say about, talk about, stuff like that. But I never got into none of that anyway. I just wanted to get on the mic and have fun and laugh. And, it was cool because I was able to send the link out to like my family, my friends, like, because it wasn't recorded like it is now, but it was audio recorded.
Right.
So it was always live. It was always live on the student radio. So I was able to send a link out so people, my family, would click on it. Hey, I'm tuned in. I'm live at 11. Tune in, and it was cool. It was cool to like finish the podcast and see all the like text messages like, "Hey, you doing great, man! Like doing great," and it's all the love that I got, man. So doing that and receiving that, I just knew this was a gift, and this is something that I wanted to do, and hopefully have my own podcast one day.
That's awesome, and I mean that's a wonderful opportunity that you had because you said yes. So one of my favorite clubs here at DVC is actually we have a cheese club, which started off as and you're going to go cheese club, but it's
cheese
like cheese.
Okay.
By the way, that's most people's reaction. So what it is that there's Josh and a couple other students, Omar and some other folks. They had a moment where they just, they didn't really feel there was a club that they fit into. They're a bunch of STEM students. And they just went, a couple of them were like, well, we just like cheese. And so they decided to start having it. And it's one of the most popular and well-attended clubs. It's very organized, But again, it's like they expressed that they took a moment and they just decided they were going to, reach for it. And it's like the radio station thing. You signed up for the club. So, and here at DVC, I think the clubs do a spectacular job of getting people integrated and helping them find their passion and stuff like that. So once you graduated from, so you did that, you had a great idea, and the thing that I love is that you got a chance to be responsible for the content on your particular podcast. How did you come up with ideas?
How did I come up with ideas, man? Honestly, a lot of times, like I said, it was free form, but times where it was planned, the first segment was me like talking about sports. I'm a huge sports fanatic. Me and my dad are, so we always watch.
So what's your favorite football team?
49ers.
Yes, thank you. Baseball team?
Giants.
Yes. All right. So we're golden.
We're good.
All right.
No beef, huh?
No, we're good.
Yeah.
So, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny because my other mom, she's a Raiders fan, so we always give her crap.
Well, I loved the Raiders until they moved to LA, and ever since then, it was just like. But anyways, that's for another discussion for another day. Sorry, but like what? So what else? I mean, what was it that just you'd have ideas or?
Yeah, And it was my first segment, I try to, because I try to plan it out by time. And it was cool because I had a little timer in there too that kept going, so I knew I didn't run over time. But yeah, the first maybe 5-10 minutes, just go over sports and like the recent, because my podcast was on Wednesday, so I was able to talk about like the Sunday night football, Monday night football, stuff like that, and the things that I see on the media, like people, like how good they do or whatever. I'm big into fantasy, so I play fantasy, so like going over that. But I think my first 5-10 minutes, and so then after that, I go into like real world situations, and I remember the whole what's again, P Diddy situation we talked about.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Just kind of just like not going really into it. Just kind of like I had a guest at the time, and just kind of go over it and like really like shocked about what we hearing and stuff like that. And what was another thing? The COVID life. Man, it was so long ago. Just things that's happening in the real world. Like literally, I will be on social media and I'm like, oh, cool, I'm talking about that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I got a lot of my ideas from. Like, okay, that's a cool topic to talk about. And like kind of just getting people perspective and learning, and also being a host, learning to respect other people's perspectives. Because everyone thinks differently. You know what I'm saying? So everyone may have a different opinion on something, which is totally validated. And being a host, I have to respect it whether I liked it or not. But I never looked at the negative. I just was, grateful for them. They came on, had a good conversation, because at the end of the day, we're just two people talking about a topic, and that's really all it is, So that was my next segment. And then music was a big segment. I put on like the new music that came out and kind of did like a live reaction to it on the air, which was really cool. And then my second year doing a podcast, I ended up getting a co-host. I got a co-host. Her name was Naya, and she was incredible. She's incredible. So that's the homie. And so I brought her on, and I kept inviting her. I'm like, you know what? Like, you should be my co-host. So yeah, we ended up co-hosting. Well, she ended up co-hosting, and she was good. She was good, and we had some great moments. We had great moments, like especially in music, because it was an artist that I really enjoy. That she don't think that artist is that good. So we always went back and forth, literally back and forth, and it was just funny. And she had her friends and family listening to it, so it just generated more popularity, man. And they thought it was funny. They thought we was funny together. So yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know. I love doing this podcast, and the reason is I get to talk to people about their stories.
Of course. Yeah.
And so you graduated, right? You're all done.
Yeah,
and
yeah, it was a lot.
It's like you were busy. I mean, you're working and doing student life and doing a radio show and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man, just trying to enjoy the process, man. Just being grateful for it, man. Just trying to enjoy the process.
So since you graduated, because you graduated in May of 2024, talk about what's happened since then. But by the way, this is for those watching or listening. This is where it doesn't get to be quite so much fun.
Yeah.
But no, I think this is important, because the thing is, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what we're going to work on here in the future. So talk about what's been going on since then.
For sure. Coming out of Sac State, I was able to transfer back my job back to where I live now, and at Home Depot, and working there for a bit. And mind you, I've been at Home Depot for 5 years. So I've been at Home Depot since, I want to say 2019, 2020, something like that. It's been a long time. But, super grateful for, Home Depot. Don't get me wrong. I was able to transfer my job, because that was real convenient. And I think that was super convenient. And the job in Sac was literally right around the corner. So I just walk to work, or if I was lazy, drive. But, so coming back, just working at Home Depot full time, just trying to. And I think one of the things I struggled with was like, I think I was so insistent of like, as soon as I graduate, like I need to get a better job. Like I remember my mom or my other mom was telling me that, once you come out of college, like don't stretch yourself out. Like you just walk the stage, like relax, take a breather. You just did these 2 years where you were student life, working full time, going to school full time, up at night studying, like take a breather, like relax, just work Home Depot. You can work Home Depot with one eye closed. This is second nature for you. So just relax, just work your Home Depot, work here, and we'll get to that. That'll come. I just feel like I was so insistent on like, okay, cool. Like as soon as I get out of college, I'm getting a career, and I think I kind of misconcepted that. And, so I took her advice and I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm just work Home Depot for right now. And, just kind of look, things come my way, apply as I see, but not really stress too much on it. And, so coming up, during the holidays, fortunately I was released, let go from Home Depot, which is okay. I'm not, it's no hatred towards them. Again, I was blessed, glory to God that I was blessed to have this job, get me through school, both schools, so I was blessed, man. I'm not going to sit here and shade Home Depot. There's a great company, great people that work there. But fortunately I was let go, which is okay. Things happen. It's life, so recently I have been unemployed and been trying to really figure things out, what I want to do, where I want to go, and, really applying myself to a bunch of places. And, it's been good and bad. I'm trying to, I got faith in the man above, and, I know my faith is bigger than any mountain or any giant that's in my face. So I'm not really too stressing on it, but, it's kind of just like, dang, man, one of the biggest things that I've learned and that I want to preach about is that when you come out of college, you can't expect the silver platter. Don't expect that. And I'm not saying I expected that, but I expected it to be just a little easier than I thought. And, as soon as I started here, I'm like, cool, I'm going to do my DVC. I'm going to go to Sac State. Bam, I'm going to have a job. I'm not saying I'm going to make six figures, but bam, I'm going to have a job, career, in fact. And it's nowhere near like that, man. And, I feel like the degree gets you in the door, but your experiences and your character is what gets you that job. And, you probably know. And so one of the biggest things I've learned is that experience kind of overweighs the degrees a little bit. It's a little bit.
Yes and no.
Right. No, I agree with you. Yeah.
And you're actually hitting on one I think is one of the most important points, is that life is very jagged.
It is, yeah.
There is we think linear, we think in a very linear path. It's like we're going to go from here to here to here to here, and there's all these little dots on the line. Mm-hmm. And the reality is it just goes jig jag, jig jag, jig jag,
right.
And oftentimes we view those zigzags as failure. And the fact is they're just life.
Yeah.
We can have an opinion about it, or we can just suck it up and just
Yeah.
So there was another point you touched on earlier before we had our malfunction, which was about the ability to control things. So talk about that a little bit.
Man, yeah. Before that, I'm a huge man of God I talk by myself. I don't try to incorporate religion on nobody. Everyone's different. But for me personally, God is the highest, God is the greatest, and all glory to my, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And, being, since a kid, since I was born, and being that implanted in me, has really shown me that, to grow in faith, man, just trust the man above. But really to understand that, things that you can't control, you gotta just let it go, man. You gotta let it go. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Just because I'm a man of God.
No, all of us, Sure. I know, let this go.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, no, it's definitely hard, man. And I'm not perfect. Like I said, just because I'm a man of God, don't mean I'm perfect. And things that we can control, let's control it. But things that we can't control, man, we gotta just, I'm gonna speak for myself. I leave it up to the man upstairs, and if it's meant to be, then it's gonna happen. If it's not, then it's something I'll see better for me. So, we all want to control things. We all want to, really take the grip on our life and steer it how we want to steer it. But that's not how it works, man. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, it is fortunate. So it's goods and bads to it, Yeah.
Well, and I bring that up only because I think that's an important point, is too often we spend a lot of time trying really hard to wrestle with stuff that we have no ability to control.
No ability to control, man.
I heard somebody say once that, it's just like we need to work on only trying to control what's inside our hula hoop. And that's it. And even then it's like, we don't know, because, we can get sick, we can get this, we're going to, so cool. So let's talk about now, what do you see as your path forward as far as a career? And keep in mind, I've had 3 or 4 careers at this point in my life. So now I'm not saying that you're gonna. Yeah. It's just, and one of the things I wished I had realized earlier was just, I need to work on the career I got now, and it could be different in 10 years, because it's like, it's like technology is going to be different. AI could take away this.
Yeah, really. Yeah, seriously.
So,
Yeah.
So what do you see like your next couple of years, and having the patience to wait for that to start? What would be your ideal career right now?
Yeah, that is a very good question. I'm not saying
It's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not stuck. I definitely see myself ultimately like helping people, whether that's through counseling, whether that's through the youth. I have tons of experience helping out the youth, tons of experience helping out people, and possibly hosting my own podcast, like right out of my living room, like making it to a studio. So I definitely see myself on a career. I just really want to do something that I enjoy. A wise man once told me, like, money is good, don't get me wrong, but to be able to wake up and put on your dress shoes and put on your fit and put on that smile, you got to be really wanting to do something that you enjoy. And that's something that I want to, and I keep telling myself, am I going to enjoy this? Like, I don't want to, I understand, like, flaws come with everything. The job may not be 100% happy, but at least be 80% happy. Like, I get sometimes it ain't always, the grass ain't always greener, like we talked about before. And I just ultimately want to do something that I'm just going to really enjoy doing and getting paid for it. Like, that's the best thing. You enjoy doing something and you're getting paid for it. So, and just to see, like, who my dad is and how hard he works, and child pops, man, I love you so much. And, I just thank God for a man like him. He implanted me, like, life gonna chew you up and spit you out, man. But what you gonna do about it,
Yeah.
And you're gonna sit there, you're gonna get up and say, all right, it's whatever, and just keep it going, and to see that man work every day, man, it's such a blessing. And he always tells me, be better than me. And he set a bar so high, man. And every time we talk about this, it brings me like really like dang, man, like I do want to be better than you. Like, I do want to, it's not a competition, but he just wants us to, really achieve the most we can get out of life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Sorry, I kind of got off topic.
No, actually, that's actually all of that I think is relevant. I happen to have a job right now that I love, and I've had a few jobs like that I loved, and I've had some jobs that I hated, and it just takes time to find those things, and sometimes you got to make them the job that you love. So one of the things I know that you're here for today is that and we're going to work on like what the rest of your, and just to let people know, this is James is going to be our kind of our first in the queue. So we're actually here at DVC. They have career services available for alumni, and so that includes career counseling and includes help with job search with I'm sitting here tapping it and
resume.
Thank you. That's just, my brain just stopped. And interview skills and all that stuff. Yeah. And then we're going to stay in touch very close, because and one of the things that I want to work with you on is a little bit on using your LinkedIn profile as well as mine on helping you to find that thing that first to get you employed, and then hopefully to find that thing or invent that thing that you want. Podcasts are the next great thing. And maybe you will make $1 million, or probably not, but that's okay too.
Right.
Not everybody gets to be Joe Rogan. So it's just, for real, I mean, that's like, he gets paid gangster money for that.
Just talking to Mike.
Yep. Crazy, for 2-3 hours. So we're going to have a series of these, if you don't mind, and just talk about updates and stuff like that. What's the job search? Because the thing is I think one of the things, and is that, and I'm going to work on this too, as far as I'm probably going to have another series that talks about job search, because I remember being out of work for a year and it was frustrating. And I want to help people work through that, and like what it takes to like kind of get through that emotionally. And then also, what are some of the tools to kind of like, so you don't have to spend a year looking for that thing. So what say you to that? Let's get you down to career services, and we'll get you started on that path. So
yeah, man. So I reached out, man. I love to network. I love to talk to people, and I love to get to know people. And whichever way you can help me out, and we can help each other. Like I enjoy being here today. Trust me. I love podcasts. I love putting on these headphones and talking on this mic. This is a passion I really have, man. So I really want to take this and go. But man. And why not use the resources that it's in front of you?
Yes.
I went to DVC. I'm technically an alumni. I graduated. So why not use the resources?
Well, and actually our bar for being an alumni is that you've taken a class. And one of the reasons we set the bar, I don't want to call it low, but the reason we made that the criteria, because there's a ton of people that, they took a couple of classes and then they went on to do something else, or they took a certificate, or they did something else. All those people are part of the DVC story. Mm-hmm. It's not just the people that got their 2-year degree and then went on to something else, or got their 2-year degree. It's the people that came and, did some training, became a, dental hygienist, or did something like that. So that's really the measure of success, is like, what were you able to achieve with that?
Right.
And so I don't like to exclude anybody. I want to be the cool kids table in the cafeteria in middle school, but rather than telling nobody can sit with us, I want to be everybody can come sit with us. Because really, that's what DVC is. We're the cool kids. People underestimate us, and the fact is this is one of the greatest economic power engines. DVC is the largest employer in the city of Pleasant Hill. By a long shot. And I think it's important. So with that, we're going to end on that note. We're going to take you down. I'm going to introduce you to career services, and we'll get you started on your journey. And then we'll have other updates on this, because I'm actually, we're going to keep working on this, because it's like, I think this is going to be an important thing. And this is really what the Alumni Association is about. One of the things is like getting people plugged into their next career choice, or whatever it is. So sound like a plan?
Sound like a plan, man. Thank you so much, man.
You bet.
Really appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you for tuning in to DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next. The official podcast of the Diablo Valley College Alumni Association, celebrating 75 years of DVC's incredible impact on education, careers, and community. We hope today's episode gave you valuable insights into the journeys of our alumni and the powerful resources available at DVC. Don't forget to join us every Tuesday for inspiring alumni stories, and on Resource Thursdays, where we spotlight DVC's departments and services, showing you how they're shaping student success. Until next time, keep pushing boundaries and exploring the connections that make DVC's legacy so special. And remember, DVC Alumni, where every story inspires the next.